In the post-war era of the 1950s, there was a great need for affordable and efficient housing solutions for the rapidly growing urban population. In this context, a young architect by the name of Le Corbusier came up with a radical idea, a self-contained modernist housing unit that would offer residents all the amenities of a small town within a single building. The result was the Unité d'habitation, a towering concrete structure that would go on to become one of the most influential buildings of the 20th century. Corbusier's idea was to propose a solution for the housing problem. In the 1920s, he proposed many of housing projects that put his clients through hell. In 1924, he designed the social housing project at Pessac, which is widely known as a failure. Then the French government gave him another chance to design for them blocks of social housing, both in Paris. The first one was the Swiss Pavilion to house Swiss students at the University of Paris, a project that was covered with aluminum sunshades to protect the students from being fried inside the concrete block. The second one was the Cité de Refuge, a project where the Salvation Army suffered from the heat of the summer and windows that could not be opened. And despite of these failing projects, Le Corbusier continued to work on his housing crisis solutions. In 1928, there was a project that was inspired by Le Corbusier's 5 points of modern architecture, the Narkomfin or the social condenser in Moscow, Russia, a 6-story building with a roof terrace standing on Corbusian pilotis. On the first and second floor were duplex flats called Type K, and on the third to fifth floors were Type F flats which had a more complex geometry. Its designer aimed for a functionalist design that condensed public and private life in a box to make different communities interact with each other. And the project failed even before it was finished. The residents hated the building and they deserted it very quickly. And by the end of the 20th century, hardly anyone lived in it. Le Corbusier commented on the project saying that it was flawed and defective, but it's clear that this project strongly influenced his approach for social housing, and it was so obvious in his Swiss Pavilion and Cité de Refuge. Between 1931 and 1945, he proposed many units projects that were rejected. But the French government ended up giving Le Corbusier another and the last chance with the building commission in Marseille. And speaking about this project, he said, "I will make a great building for these people on one condition. I'm not to be bound by any rules." The unit is 134 meters long, just over 24 meters wide and nearly 55 meters high. There are 17 stories, with level 7 and 8 used for shops and a hotel. The roof has a running track, a kindergarten, and other social facilities. Full-length corridors at 7 levels gives access to apartments and shops. Standardized split-level and L-shaped apartments lie right across the building, with a balcony at either end. Apartments are arranged in opposition pairs, with the entrance at the lower level in one and at the upper level in the other, with an access corridor at every third level. The whole building stands on pilotis. This project is supposed to be a solution to universal housing crisis, so it should have to be quick to build and at low cost. But as usual, it failed at this level. The construction was predicted to be finished in 1 year and to cost 350 million francs, but it extended to 5 years and the cost doubled like 8 times to an estimate of 2.8 billion francs. Pilotis were one of the sacred 5 points. Not only were they a sacred priority, but in this case they were a key feature of the Unity, to free up the ground below for pedestrians, grass and trees. But there is no grass or trees, just a grim grey threatening concrete scape. Services in the building were also a problem. Water, gas and other system installations are normally hidden from sight. But at the Unité d'habitation, none of these normal arrangements were made. So of course installation and maintenance was awkward and expensive. A basic mistake was to put the services inside the concrete structure. Holes for connections have to be formed in the concrete, and it was hard to get them in the right place. The Corbusier wanted residents to enjoy the sunlight, but they have to be protected from the heat of the summer, so he invented a sunbreak famously known as brise-soleil. This is no more than a horizontal concrete sunshade forming part of the facade, and supposed to exclude the sun in the summer while allowing it to enter in the winter. This may seem a great idea, but his project only works on the south side of the building. The hot sun enters from the east and west sides of the building in the morning and evening, without any protection from his brise-soleil. And residents were not happy, and they added some good old-fashioned sun blinds so they don't roast in the summer. When his apartment was finished, he locked himself in there. He stayed the whole day completely alone. In the evening, he came out and he just said, "It's okay, it will do it." His wife had described their apartment as a dissecting lab. Unity apartments has several unique features compared to most living spaces. Firstly, they are arranged linearly due to their narrow width of only 3.6 meters, which limits the opportunity for movement across the apartment. However, residents can transverse the apartment in a back and forth manner, and the use of stairs can also provide a vertical experience. The entrance is through the kitchen, of course everybody loves that. Then pass through the dining area before reaching the double-height living area. The parents' room is located above the dining area on the upper level, while the bathroom, shower, and toilet are situated across from it. The upper level ends with 2 bedrooms side by side. In the top-down unit, you still enter through the kitchen and into the dining room, but the layout diverges from there. To reach the double-height living area, you must descend the stairs, pass through a service area, and then double back to access the living area. And to reach your apartment in the unit, you have to walk a 75 long and low windowless corridor that offers a depressive visual and spatial experience for residents, and which can be found in many apartment blocks today. To turn his high-rise apartment block into a community house in a beach concrete ocean liner, Corbusier provided 2 areas where this could come into existence and flourish. On level 7 and 8, there were streets intended to provide local shops for residents as well as hotel rooms, cafes, and restaurants. This idea had not been properly researched and was a commercial failure. Had shops been at the ground level, they might have been more successful. Most of the commercial units are now offices for architects and designers, and on the roof was a kindergarten, a running track and a paddling pool, a gymnasium, and an open-air theater. Although the kindergarten is closed, the other facilities still exist. I know that we should be open to innovation in the industry, but his innovation always led to an overpriced and dysfunctional project. He thought that he was designing to meet the needs of men whose lives are standardized, but in reality, he was designing for no one but himself.